Welcome to the Daily Squeeze Take 24. I just wrote it in the phone, I should have known it. Welcome to my kitchen today. I'm going to get in the kitchen and just show you some of the things that I do for food prepping. So, come on. So, something that I do and have been doing for a while is my morning lemon water. So I always have a mug around the house and it's either lemon water or herbal tea or just tap water. Filtered water is great. If you can drink filtered water and always have filtered water on tap, awesome. Since we've moved into this house, this fridge isn't set up with the tap, so we don't have the fridge hooked up and there's no filtered water on hand. For me, that's here nor there as long as I'm drinking water. Our bodies are, anywhere from 65 to 80% water, so the best thing to do is give your body what it's made of, and that's water. So I like to start off my day with warm lemon water. So warm lemon water helps to detox the liver, wake the body up, and it's just a good kickstart. So what I do is I just prepare lemon wedges. So I cut up lots of lemons and pop them in the pan. Hope you guys can see this. And then I freeze them. I freeze them just like this. What Mark does for me in the morning, because he's a cutie, is our secret. He'll just boil the kettle, pop 3 ice cubes, no more, no less. I don't know, weird, odd numbers. 3 ice cubes and a piece of lemon in a big mug for me, and he'll just have that ready, and whenever I wake up and come out to the kitchen, I'm greeted in the morning with some lovely warm lemon water. I don't like it hot. That's just my personal preference. If it's something that you want to bring into your morning routine, just make it yours. I like even herbal tea. I'll pop ice cubes in it. Mark has his sugar and milk. I don't do that. I have my ice in my herbal tea. So figure out what you like. Definitely make it yours and do what you need to do, because we're all individuals and we all need our own thing. But that's a very simple prep. Cut up a bunch of lemons. I put them in a tray so they're not touching, because when they freeze, if you have them all clumped together in like a jar or a container, they will stick and then they're really hard to just break apart in the morning. And just to make it easier, I usually lay them in a tray like this, and then later on I'll go and take the tray, dump them in a container. Been a little bit lazy for that, so they've just been staying in the tray. Seems fine. Works perfect. I also have in the freezer I have vegetables. So this is celery ends. It's just celery. It's usually celery, carrot, onion, just whatever end of vegetables that I don't use. I don't throw them out. I put them in a baggie. I do take the air out as much as I can, stick them in the freezer, and then that's ready to go next time I make stock. I don't have to use fresh vegetables. I can just take what's in the freezer, all the ends, and it's perfect for stock. I plan to make stock soon. If you guys would really like to see that, let me know. If there's anything you want me to make or show, I'm happy to come on and do some food in the kitchen as much as you guys want. I love being in the kitchen. This is definitely my space. So just let me know. Something else I have frozen in the freezer is banana. So if my bananas go off, usually once they go off, let's be honest, I don't always eat them when I have them. I will peel them, break them in half, and put them in the freezer as well. This is great for smoothies. If you don't want to add extra water and ice to your smoothie, if you're using nut milk or something like that, frozen banana will do the trick and make that smoothie nice and cold for you. So those are 2 things that I have in my freezer. I do sometimes have prepped smoothies ready to go where I will put, I'll blanch some spinach or kale really quickly to keep the goodness into it. So you just want to cook it till it's about 60% cooked. Let it cool down, pop it in a freezer bag, and I'll put some celery, some carrot, maybe a quarter of an apple for a green smoothie, and then in the morning take the banana and the baggie for the smoothie, pop it all in the blitzer with some either nut juice or nut milk. I usually have unsweetened almond milk all the time in the fridge. That's my go-to. Mark has his milk. I don't see anything wrong with having two different milks in the fridge. We are all individuals. I know some people just think that buying one milk is enough. You have to have what you like. And there's no point telling someone they can't have something that they like, because like I keep saying, we are all individuals. So I have my nut juice, as some people call it, or my nut milk, or I put water in my smoothie. If I do have people over and I am making them a smoothie, I give them the choice. They can either have the full cream milk that Mark drinks, or a lighter version, and that's all it is. It's calories. It is dairy as well. Like, I choose to opt out of the dairy when I can. I will indulge in a cheese platter here and there, but that's kind of more of a sometimes food for me. So having stuff prepped in the freezer is really good when you're running late in the morning, you're a bit frustrated and scattered, don't know what to pull out. Having some smoothies all done up where you can throw it in if you have a NutriBullet or even a hand blender. Just make sure you put it in a cup or a takeaway container, put your hand blender in there, put a towel around it, whiz it up, towel goes in the laundry, easy peasy. If you have a NutriBullet or something to that effect, I sometimes do it in the Thermomix or the NutriBullet. I'm not really big on kitchen gadgets, but the more I'm in the kitchen, the more I'm using more gadgets, and the more I'm finding myself really intrigued by different gadgets, I guess. So yeah, breakfast is a great thing to prep. I will show you what else I have around. So back to the stock and back to the freezer stuff. I love having stuff in the freezer. I think it's a really easy, just an easy go-to. I made stock about 2 or 3 weeks ago now. Yeah, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago now. And I use some of it while it's in the fridge. Instead of a cup of herbal tea at night, I will have just some stock. Sometimes I water it down, sometimes I don't. As you can tell, I'm having a little bit of an issue right now getting these out. I will show you what they are shortly. So with my stock, once I have it done, I usually let it sit for about 36 hours in the crock pot on the counter. Again, happy to show you, just let me know that you want to know and see how I do it. I then filter it through a cloth, one of these. Get all the bits and bobs out of the stock. Last one I did was bones from a butcher, so Mark brought me home some nice grass-fed soup bones. So I have bone broth here, and what I've done is I've just taken big ice cube chunks or containers, what have you, and filled them up with stock. And then once they freeze, I just pop them into a larger container. A lot of people talk about plastic versus glass versus what kind of container you should use. If you are starting out, use what you have. Glass is better. A lot of the plastic just has all the chemicals and all that stuff to it, where glass is just glass, and it's good to freeze stuff in. Just leave a little bit at the top if you're going to freeze a whole jar of stock so that it doesn't break. I have a lot of plastic containers, so until I'm ready, I'm buying glass as I can afford it, I guess. I do save all my jars. I have a ton of jars just down in the pantry that Mark just thinks they're everywhere, but that's okay as well. I'll use jars. I do a lot of food prep for breakfast in jars, my overnight oats and stuff. But yeah, so I just have the stock in the containers. They probably won't come out. They're probably a bit too frozen since I just took them out. I'll have to run them under some water, get them in the container. And what I use that for is anytime I'm cooking either meat or even rice, anything quinoa, rice, couscous, even just regular noodles, I'll use a cube or two. So it's not just cooking in water. You can cook the grains in some stock to give them a little flavor, to give them a little goodness. Stock is really good to put the good bacteria back in your gut. Everything does stem from your gut, so you want your balance of bacteria to be as good as possible. I find this really helpful. I don't have the best gut. If you know me, I don't have a very good gut at all. But yeah, it's just something that has worked for me. If you want to know different tips and tricks, like these are just some of the things, you know, that have worked for me. I have so many different things that have worked for other clients and even friends and family. So if you have a question about anything I'm showing you, just ask and I'm happy to explain more. I'm a bit scattered. I just feel like being in the kitchen today, and I wasn't quite ready early this morning. That's why I've kind of prolonged it. Plus, I really wanted to get grocery shopping so I could actually cook dinner, which I'll run out and do after this. Just one of those Thursdays, but it's good. So yeah, I always have the stock cubes, and this way as well, once I have the stock done, I can pop a couple of these into a pop them into a mug at night, and then they'll essentially pour some hot water on them, and there's my cup of tea at night, just a nice cup of broth. Really good for, like I said, the gut, also your immune systems. It does help to boost your immune system. And what else was I going to do? I think I've taken care of the freezer today. So this is just the stuff that I keep in the freezer. I always have lemon wedges cut up for my lemon water in the morning. I have stock cubes in the freezer, and I can use them for cooking any type of meat or grain. Gives it just that little bit of extra flavor and extra goodness as well. I have stuff for my next batch of stock, always saving everything up. So usually carrots, celery, onions, whatever other vegetable. If I cut up the, like, you know, cauliflower or something and I have the leaves, I'll just chuck that in there as well. There's no point chucking it out. Might as well use it for all the goodness that's in it. And then smoothies are great to have just kind of prepared and done ready for you in the freezer as well. So I blanch my greens, and I mean, you could even have most vegetables in the freezer ready to go if you go to the farmer's market and you get a you know, cauliflower, broccoli, anything like that. Blanch them to about 60% done, put them in containers or baggies, try and get as much of the air out as possible, and they'll last in the freezer for about 3 months. So I don't really like to keep stuff in there kind of over that, especially because of the climate I live in here. Quite warm. So yeah, smoothies, frozen bananas, always good on hand. If there's any little ones running around, frozen bananas an awesome snack as well. And then yeah, just whatever you like in a green smoothie. If you want to know more about how I make my green smoothies or what I put in them, I kind of go between my smoothies and then my juices. I am getting into my juices a fair bit more, and the juicer has been amazing, and it's primarily because we're getting in more fruit. I don't know about you, but sometimes our partners in life do not like to eat fruits and vegetables. The juicer is a great way to get those extra minerals and goodness into the boys. Mark loves coming home, cutting up a bunch of fruit. I prefer it to be a little bit more vegetables, but that's okay, small steps. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. And I will probably be back in the kitchen to do more with you next week. I've done the freezer this week. I might go through, it's airplane time right now. Happens all the time. I don't know how well you could hear me then. We are in the flight path for the airport, but it's all good and it's definitely worth it because we live in a lovely little neighborhood. But yeah, I've been through the freezer today. I might go through the fridge or the pantry, or even just stick to breakfast, lunch, or dinner and do something for you guys then. If you have any questions, let me know. If you want to private message me or anything on a food that you want me to cook, whether it's stock or quinoa or anything like that, just message away and I'm happy to do it. I will talk to you tomorrow.